there are certain things that are just so well known and so popular that people are willing to pay the price tag, whether or not it's worth it. Hello, my amazing YouTube family. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. This is a very exciting video, take 2. I'll explain that in a minute, but it is a collaboration with a very dear, wonderful friend of mine, Clara Barrera. She has a channel similar to mine. I do know that many of you who are subscribed to me also subscribe to her, but if you are new and you haven't seen her, I encourage you to go check her out. So Clara and I decided to do a collab using our most high-end bougie makeup that we own. I don't have as much as I thought I did. I'm not that type of person who has to go out and buy something just because it is expensive, and as I go through this video, I'm going to discuss my thoughts on high-end makeup versus drugstore or more affordable makeup. But let me get started, and as I do, I would just like to tell you a little bit more about Clara. You know, I retract a little bit about what I just said a minute ago because part of me, and I think part of everybody, enjoys having something that is a little bit more expensive, a little bit more elegant, and even if it's maybe not worth the money, sometimes it just feels good owning it. Let me know your thoughts about that. I am stocked up. I do have my coffee. I just ran out and got it. Makeup free, mind you, which is unusual for me, but I was not about to put makeup on, take makeup off to do this video for my coffee. I'll do anything for my coffee though. I have 2 very expensive face creams here. The first one is obviously from La Mer. I got this in, I think, my Sephora box, Macy's box, I don't know. But it is ridiculously expensive. It does have very nice ingredients. Do I think that it should be less money? Yes, of course I do. And the other is something I just got in my Allure box, I believe, or no, it wasn't Macy's, it was definitely Allure. This is a new brand that I hadn't heard of from Augustinus Bader. It is sold at Sephora. It is a new brand there. They were just hyping it up. The full size of this little puppy is $265, I believe. Again, it has decent ingredients, but really? I'm going to apply the La Mer on this side of my face and the Augustinus Bader on this side because I want to compare, you know, 2 exceedingly expensive products and see how they work. This one's called the Moisturizing Soft Cream. I think it's their least expensive in the line. Definitely feels beautiful going on the skin. It is quite moisturizing. And this one is called the Rich Cream. If they're talking about price, they're not kidding. This is a slightly thinner formula than the La Mer, and yet it feels thick when it's going on the skin. It is a lovely 50 degrees outside today, which is perfect for me, but it is an unbearable amount of degrees in here because my dad is freezing. Underneath my eyes, I'm going to be using the Elizabeth Arden 8-Hour Cream, which is basically very balm-like and doesn't have magical ingredients, but it is excellent for my under eyes so they do not get crepey. So let's talk about Clara. Clara is a little bit older than I am, and she has recently retired. I'm so happy for her. I look forward to that day when I can retire. Mine is quite a bit of a ways off. But she does some unboxings and she does a lot of looks. She loves her neutrals. So if you're looking for a routine for a more mature woman who really enjoys her neutrals and does beautiful yet glamorous looks, Clara is definitely your woman. She's thoroughly enjoyable to watch. More about her character, she is a generous, amazingly kind, just wonderful person that I am so very blessed to have met and made friends with on here. It's a shame that she's in Florida and we're so far away because I know that if we lived close to each other, it would be one of those things where we would be over each other's houses all the time. She does enjoy her high-end products. She buys a little bit more than I do, and a lot of times I do live vicariously through her. So my most expensive primer is of course only a sample because I will not go out and pay the money for it. A cheapo. But it is the YSL Touche Éclat Blur Primer, Blurring Primer. There are dupes for this. One that I recommend is actually the Joa Beauty, which is sold in CVS. It has the same properties and will basically do essentially the same thing. This is a gel. It's very silicone-y, but not as much as the Smashbox. This does do a beautiful job at blurring my pores. It also has little gold flecks in it. The flecks will do nothing for your skin, just saying. I'm not a fan of the smell personally though. Sorry, I did have to put my fan on because I am super uncomfortable. I'm sorry, that's going to be an additional noise in the background. The one thing I do like about this primer is it does not ball up on top of anything, which is fabulous. The most expensive foundation I currently have is the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. I don't know what the heck that means. I'm thinking that I like it, but I haven't picked it up in a little while. And yes, I did do it in my other video. Again, I'll explain that in a second. Still don't remember if I liked it or not. But I do have the color 240 Quartz. I just zoomed you in a little bit so we can get more up close and personal, although you really don't want to get up close and personal to this face. But that's besides the point. So as I was saying, this is the second time I filmed this video. I do not like re-recording videos that I spend so much time on. But here's the thing, I bought a new camera. According to the reviews, I thought it was a very nice camera. Wrong. The one thing is that it had a microphone, and I am trying to improve my sound quality, block out some of the outside noise, and it had the microphone, you know, a boom microphone that sat on top. It had what looked like and sounded like really nice features and nice settings, and I didn't test it out. I was going to use that video as my test. Big mistake. I even said in the video, and I'm going to put clips in it along the way so you can see how terrible the quality of this camera was. It looked like something from the 1970s, and I didn't do it on purpose. I got my big old basket here. Now I will be completely honest and say that I don't have every category of high-end product because, you know, I'm a cheapskate, but I have most of them, so we'll see how we do. So needless to say, I had to redo it. Now that was 2 weeks ago that I recorded that video, and so many things happened. To shut my phone up, it was annoying the bejeebies out of me. So many things happened and I wasn't able to sit down and film because the get ready with me's, yeah, that's right, are very difficult for me to film. I enjoy them, but because of my location and the time frame and everything else, they're also a beast to edit. So what I find with this foundation is that it can get a little cakey, so you have to use it, shall I say, cautiously. It is a medium coverage foundation, which means it didn't really cover up everything on me. I mean, I've tried worse foundations as far as their, you know, texture and cakiness, but this I would just say is somewhere in the middle. I can use it, but then I somehow try to have to make it work. The most expensive concealer currently is my Marc Jacobs Accomplice Concealer. Of course, I did not pay full price for this. I got this at TJ Maxx. I believe it's normally almost $40. I know it's on sale for half price currently right now at Sephora. Hopefully when this video goes up, it might still be. But I think I paid $7 at TJ Maxx. So it's a little dark for me, so I do have to layer it with others. But it's a nice creamy concealy? Don't know what that is. A nice creamy consistency concealer. But I do have to put a lighter one on top of it. Oh geez. So Clara and I have a few things in common in that we are both caring for our elderly father. And so we do speak on some of the trials and tribulations of what can go along with that. You know, and I think the title of her channel says it all. Beauty is ageless. It really is. Women can be beautiful at any age. I think it all just depends upon how we internalize things, how we feel about ourselves. Yes, unfortunately, the standard out there is that in order to be beautiful, you have to be young and perfect. And I have news. Yes, people are young, but absolutely no one is perfect. I'm also using the It Cosmetics by Under Eyes, and I have the color Light. This is a very thick concealer, one that I absolutely must set or else it will get very, very creasy throughout the day. I also like using it on my eyes because it is not drying. And of course I knew I was going to do this. I had other products. I wanted to use an under eye primer and a couple of other things. Do you think I remembered? No, of course not, because I don't have my products laid out in front of me. They're in little boxes and bags and bins over here to the side of me. So therefore, of course I forgot something. Shocking, I know. So speaking of high-end products, let's talk about what you guys think is the reason that we covet or we really desire to have the more expensive products. And Baxter agrees. For my lip balm, because my lips are very dry, I'm using the Balm Terry Balm de Rose. I absolutely despise the scent, but I love by Terry. It's very expensive, and it actually is a really good product. I also wanted to put my Cover FX drops on underneath my foundation. Do you think I did that? No. I also had my Amore Pacific under eye cream. This is not going well, my friends. It's just not going well. I do have my Hourglass powder, which is the most expensive one that I own, and it's just called their Veil powder. I hate the little ones because of the cap size, but we're going to make it work. It is definitely a beautiful powder, no doubt about that. I will say sometimes powders are worth it, because if you get a powder that's bad, it can look really, really cakey, and it can ruin an entire look, basically. So let me finish telling you about my camera debacle, and then I'm going to get into my thoughts about high-end makeup. I have my Laura Mercier under eye powder, which I'm going to use. First, let me get rid of these creases. This definitely brightens, but it can get a little cakey, so I have to use caution. In this lighting, my under eyes do not look great. I'm just going to go with it, unfortunately. For bronzers, I have quite a few high-end ones, and I really don't know what I want to use, but I do want to start with my Marc Jacobs number 20 Dream Filter. And she's looking a bit too orange currently. Alrighty then. We're actually going to scratch that, but I do like this other powder, the more neutral one, because it is great if I make a mistake with my bronzer. I can just come underneath and fix it up, so it's really good for that. That would make, I think, more of an all-over bronzer type thingy. Which bronzer do I want to use? I have the Estee Lauder Bronze Goddess, which is this one. It's absolutely huge. Of course, I have my Hourglass, but this bronzer is a little bit shimmery, but believe it or not, I don't like it, so I might just put that one on top. And I have my two NARS bronzers, which don't really thrill me. This is in Casino, and this is in Laguna. I don't know, for some reason, these just don't work the best on me, and I haven't been able to figure out why. I'm going to use a Luxie brush with the Laguna and see if it works. You know, the prices of expensive makeup can vary a lot. A lot of times I think it's packaging, because packaging can be quite expensive. So here's the thing, would you rather have a less expensive, good performing product in cheaper packaging, or do you sometimes enjoy the more expensive luxury packaging? One thing I love about Pat McGrath's shadows is her packaging for what it is. It is so weighty, and the mirror is beveled. There was so much detail that went into it, and you just, I don't know, you feel kind of special when you're using it. Okay, that's actually not half bad, believe it or not. I think I like the Laguna better than the Casino. I am going to go into the Hourglass bronzer. This one's called Golden Bronze Light. This whole compact is absolutely one of my favorites. It's shimmery, but not over the top. Just so you can see it, I do want to swatch this Estee Lauder bronzer so you can take a look at it. It's a very similar tone to the Hourglass. I've enjoyed using it. I just have so many bronzers. I'm trying to do a Project Japan thing where I can just focus on 1 or 2 products out of a category for a week or 2 and see how I do with them. Before I put on my blush and highlight, I always like to do my eyes next. That way, if I have to do any kind of cleanup at all, I don't have to really ruin my blush and highlighter. I just will usually have to touch up my bronzer. I am using the Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership 6 Midnight Sun. This is my newest to the collection. I have 4 Pat McGrath palettes. I have one smaller one that was a holiday edition, and then I have, no, I'm sorry, I have 5 Pat McGrath palettes. Yeah. I have 3 that are in this particular size of the Mothership palettes. Yep, it gets completely fingerprinty. If that bothers some people, then you can of course clean it. This is such a weighty palette. This is almost set like a placard into the lacquer. This is black lacquer. I can't show you the mirror, but it is a beveled edged mirror, something like you would see hanging on your wall, which makes it so luxurious. She does have some of her incredibly special shades in here. Everyone always wonders what the special shades are. They have this really different, intense texture that's very hard to explain. This one is the most bizarre. It almost feels like a glitter, and yet it's not. And it just blends out to perfection, but texturally it is so unusual. I even brought out my bougie, most expensive brushes. I mean, if you're going to do high-end makeup, you may as well use the brushes too, right? Here is a Pat McGrath brush in itself. Very pretty, very nice, just plain aesthetic. Lightweight though. I think I'm going to go for a greenish gold look today. I'm going to take this matte shadow called Taboo first and lay that down as basically a transition color and or crease color. That is the lightest matte in the palette. So for some, I think high-end makeup is about status and achieving something, a goal that they've always wanted to achieve. Because if you look at your favorite influencers and the larger YouTube channels, they have all of this incredibly expensive stuff that they make you, I won't say you, I'm going to refer only to me. Sometimes it can make you feel less than when you see it, you know, and what they have and what they've been able to get. And they make it seem like to them, like a $125 palette is a drop in the bucket. It's like $3 to us. And sometimes that can make you say, well, I want to feel that way. I want to have those things. And I can tell you one thing, that money and things aren't going to fulfill something that's missing inside of you when you actually finally achieve it. Now, there is something to be said. Certain products are most definitely worth the money. In a way, I mean, because you can still get products that are really good, but in paying the $125, which I didn't, by the way, I got all my palettes from this on sale or as a gift. These shadows perform beautifully. I haven't had an issue with any of the Pat McGrath products, or I should say shadows, that I have tried. So at least I'm not disappointed in the quality of them for the price tag. Are there other shadows that I think can perform just as well? Sure. But again, for me, it's the experience, and I just know that they're going to last and I'm going to get a beautiful look. It's never a disappointing palette to me. Let's use another rather pricey, but much less pricey than a Pat McGrath brush. This is the Rephr brush, number 13. I'm having a hard time choosing between Vermilion Venom and Extreme Dusk because I am going to use this color predominantly on my lid, and I don't know which one I want to use. Oy. I'm going to go in with Vermilion Venom first, and then we'll see. And if you look, I just tap the brush, and it deposits the color. If you notice, what's so interesting is that there are certain things that are just so well known and so popular that people are willing to pay the price tag, whether or not it's worth it. Sometimes you're just paying for the name. Like, look at fashion. Would I ever pay like $3,000 for a shirt? No, I would not. But it's a name, it's a hype. I do know that certain ingredients can be very expensive, and supposedly La Mer has their secret potion that is not known to anyone, so no one can duplicate it. And I haven't used enough of it, because I won't go out and purchase it, to actually know whether or not it is worth it. Also, where you source your ingredients can add a lot or detract a lot from the cost of an item. I will ask you guys this: how do you feel about certain channels that are out there, some of them quite popular, who say they will never buy drugstore makeup, they only buy high-end? I have really mixed feelings about that. I guess they are appealing to a certain audience who feels the same way that they do, but have you ever felt less than when watching them and they make it seem like drugstore products are so beneath them? That is honestly sometimes how I feel, which is why I won't say anything negative. I just will choose not to watch them. I'm not one who goes trolling and you know, adds negative comments to people. If I don't like something or something, whatever they're doing, or their way of thinking, I just don't watch them. You know, we're not forced to watch people that we don't like. But for me, I'm most definitely a real person. You know, I do have to budget myself as far as the things that I get. I'm so not upset, but there are so many amazing sales going on for Memorial Day weekend, which is when I'm filming this, and I cannot partake in any of them because I'm out of my budgeted money that I allot for makeup items and things that I want to get. I have been posting the sales on my community tab in case any of you guys are interested, but I cannot do them myself. And yeah, it's frustrating, but do I really need them? Of course not. Would it be nice to get them at such amazing prices? Yeah. They'll go on sale again if I really want them. So I am definitely not one who can get whatever she wants whenever she wants. But also, to the other people, like, don't make people feel less than because they can't. Before I go into this darker color, I do need to slap that green upon my lid. And I'm going to use my treasured Sonia G brush. I really would like to be able to purchase a full set of Sonia G brushes. There is something to an expensive brush in the way it's made. Yes, you can get wild and wet. That's a different YouTube video which we won't show here. They do perform quite well, but there is something to be said for a higher quality brush and the way it applies. It's not necessary, but there's something to it. Now that is without wetting my brush. You can apply this with your finger, but because it applies so beautifully with the brush, I don't need my finger. Well, I do need my finger, just not to apply the eyeshadow. What I do dislike is when certain brands private label their things and say, give it a certain price tag when they paid maybe an eighth, I mean a tenth, whatever. They paid such a small amount on like bulk produced items, for example, on AliExpress or Alibaba, and then try to sell it to people like it is a high-end item. You know, like you can purchase private label brushes, they're generic brushes, like Crown does this, and you pick the ones that you like and then you just slap your name on it, and the brush could cost you 2 cents, but you're going to sell it for $15 because you want people to think it is high-end. And those are the marketing tactics that I definitely disagree with. I have to put this shade, which is called Astral Solstice. I am going to use my finger for this one. It is one of those amazingly special shades. I mean, just look at that. It can turn any shade into this magicalness. Magic. It just does. The other one of those shades is this one over here. They have that light, almost inconsequential touch to them, but when you stack them on top of another eyeshadow, it's magical, I tell ya. I do want to try this Extreme Dusk in my corner. I don't think I've actually tried this one yet. Just wanted to add a little drama and dimension. I'm going to take the Skin Show Moon Glow and I'm going to put that on my brow bone. I'd almost wear that one as a highlighter, let me tell you. Well guys, guess what? It never ever fails. I did not hit record when I came back and sat down here. I just lost half of my video footage again. What is it about collabs that I cannot seem to get it right? I don't know where I stopped. I don't know where. Wow. Oh my goodness. I'm going to wind up putting up this video, and all I have to say is, I'm sorry, Clara. I don't know why this happens to me. Oh, I don't know what products I didn't show. I'm a mess. I said this was take 2 of the video. I did a whole lot of stuff that you probably didn't see. I'm going to list the products down below that I used. I probably filmed a good 20 minutes of not filming, and my apologies. I said that's why I don't do collabs, because I inevitably will mess them up and disappoint people. So this video is going to go up. It's not going to be complete. I talked about so many things. I'm so frustrated right now. I'm about to scream and cry, but that won't accomplish anything. This is the final look, guys. I'm very happy with the look. I am so very happy and thankful to Clara for wanting to do this video with me. I am so sorry that it has turned out the way it has. I can't seem to get it right. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I'm really ready to cry right now, and I have to go food shopping, and I don't want to look horrible when I go food shopping, although I probably already do. I cannot see sitting down to film this video for a 3rd time. It would just, I just don't know. I do look forward to your thoughts down below on at least what you did see and what I did mention about my thoughts about high-end makeup versus not. Whether you guys think they're worth it, or is it just all hype and status symbols. I truly do apologize for this incomplete video. I don't know how many other ways to say it, but I love you guys tremendously. You're all amazingly wonderful people. I don't expect many thumbs up on this video because it is horrible, but I do encourage you to please go out, no, just go and check out Clara's video, because I'm sure she did a much better job than I. I appreciate you, Clara. You are wonderful. I appreciate all of you. You're amazingly wonderful people as well. And of course, my friends, whatever part of the world you are in or around, I hope you're having an amazing day, an amazing week coming up. I'm going to go beat myself up in a corner now, and I'm hoping that the next video will be much more complete than this one. I love you guys. Bye.